to Unstoppable You. I am Tracy Schmidt, and I am here with a wonderful guest all the way from Germany. I'm here with Christian Bartsch.
Yeah.
And we both have SCH in our names. I'm Schmidt, and he's Bartsch with an SCH on the end. So I had to have him on the show, and I reached him in Germany, and he said, okay, I'll fly over and do it. There's one or two other reasons that he happens to be in town, which I'm very glad to say. Mm-hmm. He is here with a company called Infusionsoft. He has interviewed people like Steve Wozniak from Apple. He's also a real go-getter and trendsetter in the cryptocurrency world. He's also a father of a lovely child or two. How many kids do you have? One child. I knew of one, and so I was right. It was just the one so far, just the little one. There might be another one day. But he and his wife are unstoppable. So they were perfect for being a guest on my show today. So Christian, will you tell my viewers, what was the very first memory that you had somebody describe you as unstoppable?
I think it was at the beginning as a child. I had the idea I wanted to start a business.
Yes.
And I wanted to sell kites.
Sell kites?
Yeah. So I think I was 5 or so I made some homemade kites.
5.
And I thought, oh, that would be a great idea.
Yes.
Only made 4 kites and I didn't sell any, but hey, the idea was there.
The entrepreneur at 5 years old,
Yeah.
It totally makes sense. So what was your parents like about that when they heard you talk about selling kites?
I don't know really, because at that time we lived in South America and my father was sent over there to get a business running again, with production and everything and sales and everything. So he was sort of an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Getting the business running up. Before he had done that as well in Spain, had recovered a business from total bankruptcy and back to normal and being even more productive and selling more products, more clients and so on. And yeah, so he was practically like a restructuring expert there. And yeah, so I was living as a child as well with the environment of factories and all these things. And when you think of it like light manufacturing, then you have all these machines and you have the flames and everything. And all impression as a child, you see these machines working all the time and you get ideas and you want to do it yourself. You want to have your own play factory.
Yes.
Where you have all the stuff and eventually you get some stuff that you can use with that, electrical toys that you can connect and build your own little factory. And that's a great thing, because then you're actually thinking about where something starts and where it ends.
Where's
like, because at the beginning you have some raw material, at the end you have a product.
Yes.
And that's where then actually the selling then starts, because you ship it to the customers, you market it to the customers and get customers that are happy and advocate for you. And that's where then branding and brand insistence comes and actually makes people absolutely crazy about products.
Yes, and your company is thriving,
Yep.
which is brilliant. Infusionsoft is one of them.
No, Infusionsoft is one of the manufacturers of a CRM system.
Okay.
And we
Customer relationship management system.
Exactly, and we are helping our clients to use the system, but not just to have like a CRM system that you just feed contacts, but we're putting in automation, which means instead of doing all the time being in the office or in a company working all the time,
Yes.
you see that certain things that you can produce a wow effect for your clients.
Yes.
Or your end clients, that you actually can automate this stuff. And at the same time, you have more time to focus on your clients and really create the personal connection. But for personal connection, you need time.
Yes.
But if you're doing bookkeeping, if you're doing other kinds of stuff, then it's just wasting time. And we already now even looking towards automation of accounting systems. There are lots of products on the market, but many people don't try it out. And once you see what it can do,
Yes.
then it's really fascinating, because you don't have to do that either, and you get your data in time.
Yes.
Sometimes even if you outsource it, you don't get your figures then when you really need it.
Right.
And you are flying blind, and that's not good. So you have to have your figures set away when things happen, and then you know, okay, what can I do where can I go, what to have, and you have then the drive to do certain things.
So folks, you can see that Christian really knows his business. He knows about automation, he knows about branding, he knows about being relationship focused. But Christian, there was a time where it wasn't always superstar Christian, unstoppable business. Can you tell me of a time where maybe you were feeling uncertain or something didn't go so well?
Oh,
and
yeah.
how you came back from that?
Yeah, for instance, I had a company in the UK.
Oh, yes.
I had a person, and then I thought, okay, I can focus on the side of treating the customers, getting all the stuff that actually was the service that we were selling, and then actually to do all these things. And thought, okay, I can use this person who I'm hiring to do the sales. But in fact, 3 months, she didn't do anything.
Oh.
Yeah, and eventually I caught her even playing all the time on ICQ, and yeah, there was just excuses I got to hear that everything didn't work and so on. So in the end, I managed to recover the business,
And
but
what
I
did you
lost
do?
3 months.
I'm sorry to
and
hear
3
about
months
those 3 months.
is a lot of money because, of course, certain businesses take some time until they get started, until from getting the client to actually getting paid takes some time. So it can take maybe 2-3 months or so, depending what you're doing.
Yes.
And that hits your cash flow.
But you overcame that.
Yeah.
What do you think it takes to overcome? What does it take to be unstoppable? What does it take to come back to a thriving entrepreneur?
Yeah, you have to be able to adapt. You have to change. That's what I grew up with.
Yes.
Because I lived in different countries all the time. I had to get new friends again, different cultures. Like, for instance, Spain and South America.
Yes.
They speak Spanish, yes.
Yeah.
But it's a different kind of Spanish. You have different cultures, different kind of habits, and the ways people interact with each other. Came to Germany. Different habits again, different language, and different temperatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you think you come from a country where you've got 40 degrees centigrade, and then you go to a country with minus 20 centigrade, and that's 60 degrees difference. That you feel like a rock. It's too cold to do anything.
And then that interacts and affects some of your relationship building.
Yeah, definitely. And you have to build new friendships. You're different. You think different. You act different, and you're not fitting 100% into the society as others maybe do.
Yes.
Because they just know one way. I know several ways, and I know how to connect with people. Most of my friends are actually business friends all around the world.
Yes.
So I can get in a plane and always meet some business friends who I can connect, who I can even stay with. I went to UK to help a client of mine, stayed at his place. It was a great time. I helped him in his business. He helped me. It's great. We connected, met up with another person in London, and awesome. That person got one of my books to read, and afterwards she said, "That's fantastic. Awesome book. Now she understands what this whole cryptocurrency topic is," and so on. My idea is always, if you want to teach somebody something, it has to be understandable.
Yes.
And you have to be able to apply it. So like having a guide. Because if you fill a book with information that is not to the point,
Yes.
people lose the urge to read the book till the end. And then they don't take any information, no knowledge, and they lose actually the drive.
What's the name of your book? Tell
The
our
book
viewers.
is How to Get Rich with Bitcoin, and it is available as well on Amazon in English, and you can buy it anywhere around the world. It's even sold in Japan and Brazil
Amazing.
and India. You can buy it either as a printed book
Nice.
or as an ebook, which is cool because nowadays so many people travel around and they enjoy reading on their iPad or their Galaxy Tab or anything of that. So that's great. And others like me, I love books, printed reading. It's just enjoyable.
And so clearly your father's travels have influenced you. Your own globalization of all the places you've worked have influenced you. And now you've written a book. You have an industry in Infusionsoft as one of the folks that you do customer relationship management with.
Yeah.
You've also got the cryptocurrency under your belt.
Yeah.
Folks, he's also got military level security because he does security data protection.
I get the data out they can't get out.
Oh. So if I was interested in somebody, there'd be a way for you to get a profile and some data out of that fella for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe?
The last resort.
As a last resort, yes.
When they can't get it, they come to me.
Is there something that isn't confidential that might be a fun story for our viewers about this top clearance business world?
Yeah, well, it has always to do with all the things that we see that happen in the world, and sometimes you see things. For instance, sometimes I watch as well, it's like others do as well, CSI, and it's always such fun. You see these crazy guys running around doing crazy stuff, and then we, in the real world, sitting there and laughing our heads off because we say that's not the way to do it. You've done it wrong. Data dead.
Forensic doesn't quite go that way.
No, and you have to look for other things. For instance, when we do special soldering for wires, it's very thin wire. It is thinner than the human hair. It's like 0.05 mu. That's this extremely thin wire. And there are very few people in the world who are able actually to do this kind of wiring. And with you have to wire it on a small little chip, and you have to do like 30 or 40 wires you have to place.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and after a while you are soldering, and whoop, the next wire gets off again, and you think, oh no, again.
And we've almost got our wires crossed at the moment because we just need to take a break, and I want to carry on with wonderful Christian. So we'll be back right after this break.
I think it's important to be a part of an organization that also will support you in your education as well as in the community.
OPSWA advocate helping PSW. They also help voice out the voice of the PSW to be heard all over Canada.
Now they're talking about different things that can help us PSWs, like autism and Asperger's. This is new education that we need, that we don't get in school as a PSW.
The conference is helping me today by teaching me about all the other programs offered to PSWs and through OPSWA that I had no idea about before, and all the other programs that I could specialize in or that could help me in my field after this.
My name is Miranda Ferrier, and I'm the president of the Ontario Personal Support Worker Association, and we want to invite you to come out to our conference. At our conference, we celebrate personal support workers, and we understand how important you are to the healthcare field. So come out and join us. You're going to have a great time.
Welcome back to Unstoppable You with Tracy, Unstoppable Tracy, and my wonderful friend Christian Bartsch. And he is here all the way from Germany, if you didn't gather from the first part of the show. When Christian and I were driving over here, you were telling me how interesting Canada was compared to Germany in terms of the mining community. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about the differences between Canada and Germany?
Yes, well, in the Middle Ages as well, and until recent years, we had in Germany a lot of mining, especially in the middle of Germany, like area of Cologne, Essen, all the Ruhrgebiet, lots of mining. Nowadays, most of the mines are closed. But in Canada, you have a lot of big mines, and you have some of the greatest resources besides, like for instance, graphene.
Yeah.
In Canada is one of the largest places where you can find graphene, but in other countries, you only have maybe China and maybe Korea, I'm not quite sure. But in other things as well, which are vital, for instance, for the production of batteries.
Right.
There are many of these natural resources existing in Canada and in China as well. But that's exactly the point where you then think, okay, if you want to develop new technology that is safe and helps as well to keep people and the environment safe, that's a place where you can test the stuff out and find out as well new ways to actually create new jobs. And that's what we are currently doing with a new project that we're working on.
Oh, yes.
The idea is to set up a business in Canada together with some Canadian partners. And from the research side, we have as a partner, we have the Fraunhofer Institute, which is one of the best applied science research centers.
Excellent.
And they've developed technology to transmit data at a high speed which means we can then transmit information from security systems inside mines, which can measure gas, water, vibrations, and other stuff.
Wow.
Whether it's somewhere in the walls, on the ground, or even on the machines. Because, for instance, a mining machine, if it breaks down, it could literally block a whole tunnel.
Oh boy.
And maybe people can't go by, or some machines nowadays that are produced, they're usually set up in the mines, and eventually when they're no longer used, they're parked somewhere in a side corner and left there. They don't bother taking them out again. So, but if these things break down, you have a big problem. But if you know in advance that's going to happen, you have got enough time to get the parts, get them down, fix the thing before the machine doesn't even move a meter anymore.
Right.
And that's a great thing, because it's not just maintenance, it's protecting the workers,
Yes.
and as well protecting the environment. Because if you can't protect the environment and you can't ensure that you've got everything in place, then as well, for instance, Canada is that if you want to open up a new mine,
Yes.
you do not get the license to press the start button,
Right.
because you cannot ensure that you're going to protect the environment.
Go Canada!
Yeah, and
It is
that's exactly
brilliant.
one of the things where Canada is way ahead
Yes.
compared to other countries.
Yes.
Because they have the resources, but they have as well the brains to think we're not going to destroy our environment and later on have a higher bill to fix the whole problem.
Yes.
Because in some countries, they don't think about the tomorrow. They have now, we get out, make quick money, and
Yeah.
then tomorrow people are sick and the environment is destroyed and you can't maybe fix it. Or it takes so long that people don't bother,
Yeah.
and eventually it's a bad situation.
You know, one of the things that's resonating for me in listening to you is the idea that there's a lot of folks doing research,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of study into technology. And when I think about, you know, when they flew to the moon,
Yeah.
it was the technology that they brought back that actually influenced a lot of people with disabilities. And so this is technology, and it's specific to do with the mind, but it's also technology and research that eventually can link to potentially a transferable information. I'm also hearing the idea that this is a great field where people with disabilities could be employed in doing the research side of things.
Yeah, and as well working on the systems or monitoring the systems. The great thing about this technology is you don't have to fly people anymore into the mines. They can be somewhere at home or somewhere sitting 100 or 1,000 miles away.
Yes.
We can be sitting here monitoring the systems, and the mine is maybe somewhere in Nigeria,
Wow.
somewhere far, and within seconds we've got the data there.
Yes.
It travels around the world in seconds, and we've got it right on the spot, and the engineer can say, start this pump, do this, do that. And the guy somewhere in Nigeria will do that straight away. And the expert doesn't have to travel with the plane. By the time he gets there, it's already too late.
Too late, yeah.
Everything is damaged, the groundwater is polluted and everything. You can stop that at the right time, and that's technology that's being developed as well in Canada, and it's a great thing. Great thing that this builds bridges as well between the countries. Everyone brings in their talents, and that's as well what you do as well in business. Try to find partners that can complement with their talents.
Yes.
And then you get a great power team, which does much more than if you do it on your own, or you have somebody partnering but is not actively pulling along.
Yes.
They're just holding you back.
Right.
Like my experience in the UK, and that it doesn't mean that in one country it doesn't work. It means just sometimes you'll make mistakes, that you get the wrong partners on board, and then you have to learn from this experience, try to do it better the next time, and yeah.
And you have lots of conversations with power players.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly looking for, how do I do it better next time, and how do I continuously improve? And I know one of those fabulous conversations was with Steve Wozniak from Apple. Can you tell our viewers about that conversation?
Yeah, I asked him about technology, how you can bring technology so that people can understand how to use it.
Yes.
And that they're not afraid of it. And that's the thing, many people see new technology as a threat to jobs, threat to maybe their lives or their way of living and other things.
And even
or they
in this show, people
or they
wondering,
distrust
do
it.
I understand this conversation, right?
Yeah, and people distrust as well all this innovative stuff. But when you educate people, not only on the benefits, what it provides, but actually how they can use it, then they get much more from it, and they can start themselves doing something that maybe isn't invented yet, isn't developed yet, and contribute to the whole movement, and it makes the world a better place.
Yes. And is that what he said or what you said?
That's what he as well then confirmed to me, that educating the people is an important thing, so that it makes sense to them. Because if we don't tell them, they get told from other people who maybe don't want this technology.
Yes.
It's like, for instance, companies who like they produce oil and so on. And of course, electric cars are a threat to them. But intelligent businesses nowadays notice, okay, if I in future cannot sell oil, I'll sell batteries.
Yes.
I just need to produce them. Or I sell maybe my own electric cars.
Yes.
And that's the way you create your own economy. And some countries are actively doing that. And they're way ahead of countries that just don't think, oh, we don't change anything. We leave it at the same.
Yes.
Eventually they notice, boom, industry falls apart.
Change is inevitable. It's unavoidable. So you can be even a Microsoft, and then we've got an Apple and Google's taken over, or there's Barnes and Noble selling books, and now we have Amazon. And so it's we have taxis and cars, and now we're going to be having Uber and other companies. So how do you jump on the bandwagon and accept and adopt changes to make it work for you so that you're going with it and being unstoppable and not being, and it's through technology and embracing technology. And we're so lucky to have people like Christian out there that's educating us all about technology and being an ally and a resource. So where can folks find you that are looking for your services?
Yeah, for instance, one of my websites is safedataconsultants.com.
Safedataconsultants.com with an S on the end.
Yeah, or on Facebook.
All on Facebook.
Yeah, nowadays everything is around Facebook, and you can get your clients on Facebook as well, and there's lots of awesome stuff coming more and more in that direction, where people are doing less with emails, doing more with Messenger, and you get so many clients. Nowadays we're getting more and more clients through Messenger, through Facebook, than we do over other kinds of ways. It's astonishing. You don't even necessarily need to do advertising. You have so many ways to connect with people, and either suddenly they say, hey, I've seen you, you've got this and this service. That's maybe something that would be for me right. We talk about it, and they say, great, I want it. Or we find a way to even do together a business.
Yes.
Yeah, like for instance, I've got business partners in South Africa, business partners in Australia, in Canada. I've got in the UK, I've got in Italy, in Serbia, in Russia, all around the world, USA. It's awesome because you've got so many great people you can connect and talk. And we all understand each other. And when people are very international, as well in their upbringing, in their thinking, and their doing, you're somehow connected with one line because
and more
you talk
creative and innovative.
Yeah, and somehow it resonates.
And it resonates.
Yeah.
So you heard it here. Safe Data Consultants. He's even using Facebook, and this is from somebody with military clearance that's using Facebook Messenger. So. I am Unstoppable Tracy, and that's where you can reach me, Unstoppable Tracy on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, my website, Unstoppable Tracy. Thank you for joining me today on Unstoppable You with my unstoppable safe data consultant friend, Christian Bartsch.